Welcome to this exploration of one of the world's most famous public transport systems, the London Underground. Known affectionately as the Tube, this network of tunnels and trains beneath the streets of Britain's capital has been moving Londoners for over 150 years. As we delve into its history and inner workings, we'll uncover how this Victorian innovation grew to become an indispensable part of London life and a globally recognised icon. I've always been fascinated by the Tube's ability to shape the very fabric of London. It's not just a means of getting from A to B, it's a complex system that has influenced the city's growth, its culture, and even its art and design. From the iconic Tube map to the distinctive roundel logo, the Underground has left an indelible mark on London's identity. As we journey through its history and features, I hope you'll come to appreciate the ingenuity and vision that went into creating this remarkable network. The story of the London Underground begins in the mid-19th century, when London was grappling with severe traffic congestion. The city's population had exploded, and its narrow streets were choked with horse-drawn vehicles. The solution, proposed by Charles Pearson, was as bold as it was revolutionary: an underground railway. The idea seemed preposterous to many at the time. Who would want to travel in a dark, smoky tunnel? But Pearson's vision would prove to be transformative. The idea of an underground railway linking the City of London with the urban centre was proposed in the 1830s. On the 10th of January 1863, the world's first underground railway opened to the public. The Metropolitan Railway, running between Paddington and Farringdon, was an immediate success, carrying 38,000 passengers on its opening day. It's difficult for us to imagine now, but these early trains were powered by steam locomotives. Picture, if you will, the scenes underground: clouds of smoke and steam filling the tunnels and stations lit by flickering gas lamps. It must have been quite an experience for those first passengers. The success of the Metropolitan Railway sparked a flurry of underground railway construction. The District Railway followed in 1868, and together they completed the Inner Circle, now the Circle Line, in 1884. These early lines were built using the cut and cover method, essentially digging a trench, laying the track, and then covering it over. This method was disruptive but effective, and it allowed for wider area tunnels than we see in the deep-level tubes of today. The next major development in the Underground's history came with the advent of electric traction and deep-level tunnelling. The City and South London Railway, which opened in 1890, was the world's first deep-level electric railway. This line, now part of the Northern Line, used a tunnelling shield developed by James Henry Greathed. Greathed's shield allowed for the construction of smaller circular tunnels deep below the surface, and it's these tunnels that give the Underground its nickname, the Tube. For the first deep-level tube line, the City and South London Railway, two 10 feet 2 inches diameter circular tunnels were dug between King William Street, close to today's Monument Station, and Stockwell, under the roads to avoid the need for agreement with owners of property on the surface. The shift from steam to electric traction was a game changer for the Underground. It eliminated the smoke and steam that had plagued the earlier lines, making for a much more pleasant journey. But it wasn't an easy transition. The District and Metropolitan lines, which had been built for steam locomotives, resisted the change at first. It took the intervention of American financier Charles Yerkes to push through the electrification of these lines in the early 20th century. Yerkes' influence on the Underground can't be overstated. He founded the Underground Electric Railways Company of London, UERL, in 1902, which went on to open 3 new tube lines and electrify the District Railway. Under Yerkes and his successors, the Underground expanded rapidly, pushing out into the suburbs and shaping the growth of London. It's fascinating to think about how different London might look today without the influence of the Tube. One of the most remarkable aspects of the London Underground is its strong visual identity. This didn't happen by accident. It was the result of a concerted effort by Frank Pick, who joined the Underground Group in 1906 and went on to become its chief executive. Pick had a vision of the Underground as more than just a transport system. He saw it as a cohesive brand that could represent the best of modern design. The LPTB commissioned many new station buildings, posters and public artworks in a modernist style. Perhaps the most iconic element of the Underground's branding is the roundel, that distinctive red and blue symbol that's now synonymous with London transport. The roundel evolved from a simple red disc used to highlight station names in the early 1900s. Under Pick's guidance, it was refined into the bar and circle design we know today. Edward Johnston, commissioned by Pick, designed the sans serif typeface that's still used across the network. Johnston's typeface and the roundel have become design classics, influencing transport systems around the world. But Pick's vision extended beyond logos and typefaces. He commissioned artists and designers to create posters for the Underground, turning the network into a patron of the arts. These posters, which advertised destinations reachable by tube or encouraged off-peak travel, are now considered classics of 20th century design. Pick also oversaw the construction of many new stations in the 1920s and 30s, working with architects like Charles Holden to create modernist buildings that expressed a forward-looking vision of London. No discussion of the Underground's design would be complete without mentioning Harry Beck's tube map. Prior to 1933, Underground maps were geographical, showing the actual routes of the lines overlaid on a street map of London. These maps became increasingly cluttered and difficult to read as the network expanded. Beck, an engineering draftsman, had a brilliant insight. Passengers riding the tube didn't need to know the geographical layout of London. They just needed to know how to get from one station to another. The schematic tube map, designed by Harry Beck in 1931, was voted a national design icon in 2006, and now includes other transport systems besides the Underground, such as the Docklands Light Railway, London Overground, Thameslink, the Elizabeth Line and Tramlink. Beck's map was revolutionary. It straightened out the lines, evened out the distances between stations, and ignored geography altogether in favour of clarity and simplicity. The result was a diagram that was easy to read and understand, even for visitors unfamiliar with London's layout. Initially rejected by the Underground's publicity department, Beck's map was eventually printed in a trial run in 1933. It was an immediate hit with the public. Beck's map has become one of the most recognisable and influential designs of the 20th century. It's been imitated by transit systems around the world, and has even been adapted for use in fields far removed from transport, such as computer network diagrams. The map has been continuously updated as the Underground has expanded, but its basic design principles remain the same. It's a testament to Beck's genius that his creation has stood the test of time so well. Today, the London Underground faces challenges that would have been unimaginable to its Victorian creators. The network now carries over 1.3 billion passengers a year, putting enormous strain on its infrastructure. Overcrowding is a persistent problem, particularly during peak hours. I've experienced this firsthand and it's not pleasant. Being packed into a carriage like sardines on a hot summer day is nobody's idea of fun. During peak hours, stations can get so crowded that they need to be closed. Passengers may not get on the first train, and the majority of passengers do not find a seat on their trains, some trains having more than 4 passengers every square metre. But the Underground is not standing still. Significant investments are being made to upgrade the network. New signalling systems are being installed to allow more frequent services, and new trains are being introduced on several lines. The Elizabeth Line, while technically separate from the Underground, has added much-needed capacity to London's rail network. There are also plans to extend the Bakerloo line further into southeast London, although these have been put on hold due to financial constraints resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic. One of the biggest challenges facing the Underground is accessibility. Many of the older stations were not designed with accessibility in mind, and retrofitting them is a complex and expensive process. However, progress is being made. As of January 2022, there were 90 stations with step-free access from platform to train, with plans for more in the coming years. It's a start, but there's still a long way to go to make the entire network accessible to all. The London Underground has had an outsized impact on British culture. It's featured in countless films, TV shows and books, often serving as a shorthand for London itself. The Tube has appeared in everything from the James Bond film Skyfall to the long-running sci-fi series Doctor Who. It's even spawned its own horror subgenre, with films like Creep and Deathline playing on the fear of what might lurk in abandoned tunnels. The Underground, including several fictitious stations, has appeared in many movies and television shows, including Skyfall, Deathline, Die Another Day, Sliding Doors, An American Werewolf in London, Creep, Tube Tales, Sherlock and Neverwhere. But the Tube's cultural influence extends beyond popular entertainment. The network has long been a patron of the arts, a tradition that continues today with the Art on the Underground programme. This initiative commissions contemporary artists to create works for the Tube, turning the network into a kind of distributed public gallery. From Eduardo Paolozzi's mosaics at Tottenham Court Road to Mark Wallinger's labyrinth designs installed across the network, the Underground continues to be a showcase for public art. The Tube has even inspired its own form of sport, the Tube Challenge. This is the competition for the fastest time to travel to all London Underground stations, tracked by Guinness World Records since 1960. As of 2021, the record stands at 15 hours, 45 minutes and 38 seconds. It's a testament to the complexity and extent of the network that even with careful planning and a bit of luck, it takes the better part of a day to visit every station. As we look to the future, the London Underground faces both challenges and opportunities. Climate change is a major concern. Many of the older tunnels are vulnerable to flooding, and extreme heat can cause significant disruption to services. The network will need to adapt to these changing conditions, which may require significant investment in infrastructure. Temperatures of 117 degrees or 40 Svendegan were reported in the 2006 European heatwave. On the technology front, the Underground is embracing innovation. Wi-Fi is now available at most stations, and there are plans to bring mobile phone coverage to the entire network by 2024. This will be a major change for the Tube, which has long been one of the few places in London where you couldn't use your mobile phone. It's a development that I'm sure will be welcomed by many passengers, although I can't help but feel a twinge of nostalgia for the quiet carriages of the past. Looking further ahead, there are exciting possibilities on the horizon. The New Tube for London project aims to introduce new trains and signalling systems on several lines, increasing capacity and improving reliability. There's also ongoing research into making the network more energy efficient and environmentally friendly. And who knows, perhaps one day we'll see driverless trains on the Tube, although that remains a contentious issue. As we come to the end of our journey through the history and workings of the London Underground, it's worth reflecting on what this network means to London and to the millions of people who use it every day. The Tube is more than just a means of transport. It's a vital part of London's identity, a marvel of engineering, and a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. The Underground received $2,669 billion in fares in 2016 to 17, and uses transport for London's zonal fare system to calculate fares. From its humble beginnings as a single line running steam trains beneath the streets of Victorian London, the Underground has grown into a vast network that shapes the life of one of the world's great cities. It's weathered wars, survived terrorist attacks, and adapted to enormous technological and social changes. Through it all, it has continued to evolve and improve, always striving to better serve the needs of London and its people. As someone who's spent a lot of time studying and using the Tube, I never cease to be amazed by its complexity and resilience. Yes, it has its problems, overcrowding, delays, the occasional strike, but when you consider the sheer scale of what it achieves day in and day out, moving millions of people safely and efficiently, it's truly remarkable. The London Underground is a testament to what can be achieved through vision, innovation, and dedication. Long may it continue to serve as the lifeblood of this great city. Well, that brings us to the end of our exploration of the London Underground. I hope you've enjoyed this journey through the history, design, and cultural impact of one of the world's most famous transport systems. From its Victorian origins to its cutting-edge future, the tube continues to fascinate and inspire. Whether you're a daily commuter or an occasional visitor to London, I hope this video has given you a new appreciation for the complex network beneath your feet. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please consider liking, subscribing and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Your support really does make a difference to the channel. Until next time, mind the gap and happy travelling.